Hello guys and gals, and welcome back to Minimal Effort. And before we get started on this video, I just want to say a huge thank you to everybody that helped put us over 500 subs. You guys are freaking awesome, so just give yourself a round of applause. Could not have done it without all of your love and support, so thank you all so freaking much. You guys have been awesome. So let's talk about Starfield. Starfield came out a day or two ago. It's actually now Friday night, September 1st, so I believe it was yesterday on the 31st when it went into early access. And you know, overall it seems like it's kind of a mixed bag. Definitely one of those things where it's a big AAA game. There are some conflicting opinions about how good the gameplay is, about whether or not it's got bugs, how game-breaking the bugs actually are. It sounds like overall, though, it's kind of a slow starting game, a little clunky, but basically as you get into it, things kind of warm up, and the game becomes a little more enjoyable overall. That being said, there are some reports about it having some game-breaking bugs, some GPU issues, some Intel GPUs not working too well, but overall some mostly positive. There was even this story about how a tribute was made from Bethesda to a fan who had been a longtime fan looking forward to this game who passed away from lung cancer earlier this year, and they did a tribute to him in the game. So pretty touching as far as that goes. But you know, we couldn't have a big AAA game release without all sorts of controversy, and so the first part of this is an article from Bounding into Comics, which I tend to be a pretty big fan of how they report on things. This one, I will say, it's not that I don't agree with them on some level, it's just I'm not surprised. So the article is talking about how Bethesda introduced a transgender NPC into this game, as well as how you can basically do the he, she, they pronouns. And you know, honestly, I've seen this with like Forza, with a lot of big AAA titles. I'm not surprised by it. It's annoying for somebody who thinks the whole pronoun thing is garbage. Personally, it definitely is it's a negative when I look at a game. It's like, it's completely not essential. It seems like woke placating. It just seems like virtue signaling when they put this in the games. But it definitely is part of the agenda that we've seen pushed in modern media, pushed in modern entertainment, pushed on children, pushed on people by both the mainstream press and in public schools, just across the board. So I understand why they'd have issues with this kind of thing popping up in video games. And spoiler alert, this is a tiny thing for anybody who cares, but it's an NPC in the game that apparently is a clone. It's a self-identifying woman that's a clone of a man. So I'm not even quite sure how they make that work. Apparently there was some genetic modification that went into it. I don't know. Don't ask me. It's an NPC in the game. So there's going to be that going into it, which I think at this point most of us have come to expect, to be honest. I don't think that that's a shock to most people living in the year 2023. That being said, an old story from July is actually starting to make the headlines again now that Starfield is out. So this person, Farron, a transgender woman, uploaded a 4-hour video on their YouTube channel explaining the supposed abuse and mistreatment that they received while working for ZeniMax Online Studios. Basically, the long and the short of it is they were outed by their management to the other coworkers about being transgender. Apparently, the manager believed that she was helping by basically letting everyone else know that this person was transgender, but this put a lot of pressure on the employee Farron, the transgender person, who then also felt that they were pressured into resigning when they needed to take time off for their gender-affirming care, as they referred to it, which I hate that term. I do not believe it is care at all. You can call it gender reassignment surgery, you can call it transgender surgery, bottom surgery, top surgery, whatever you want to call it, but I do not believe there's any care given to the person by performing these surgeries. That's just my personal opinion. That being said, after a year of contacting ZeniMax HR about their experiences, Farron took their complaints to Bethesda corporate, expecting a different result. Instead, the company viewed them as a liability and offered a resignation package that would cover the upcoming surgeries. However, taking the deal would also mean signing away their right to bring a discrimination lawsuit against Bethesda, which I think is sensible, honestly. Okay, well, here's a severance package. We'll pay for your surgeries, but you can't come back and sue us for discrimination. I think that's fair, to be honest. But due to this, Farron said Bethesda was holding their surgeries hostage in a bid to force them out of the company, which is honestly possible. It's possible that they just flat out didn't want to deal with this person anymore because this is a headache like it or not, people, even if you are sympathetic to the transgender population and the gender idealists that exist, the gender ideologues that exist in our society, you have to understand that this is a landmine. This is this is a field full of landmines that has created such a mess for a lot of these companies that they don't even want to hire these people anymore. And while they may not say it explicitly, look at these kind of responses here. This popped up on my phone earlier from Quora. Somebody says, why won't anybody hire me because I'm a transgender? And this answer down here from this person says, hi, actual owner of an actual company here. Generally, I have found that people who bring up gender or pronouns either in their application or interviews aren't worth the inevitable headaches that they cause. My applications don't even have a place to put that information because I don't care. All I care about is, can you do the job without causing any additional headaches for me? And that is becoming a more common attitude for small to medium-sized companies. Now look, this is a AAA studio. Obviously, for them, this is more in their wheelhouse. This is the kind of culture that they invite upon themselves. These are the people that they recruit from actively. But I think at some point they do realize that this becomes more of a nuisance, more of a headache than it's worth, and then they have to get worried. Then they become worried about getting sued by these people. So I think it's a fair thing, but I do find it really hilarious that companies like Bethesda will put this kind of stuff into their game with, creating the transgender characters, the pronoun options, trying to score woke virtue signaling points. But then at the end of the day, they are just as likely to get sued by these people as anybody else. It's pretty ironic. Anyways, let me know your thoughts down below, guys. Again, thank you all for the support. Appreciate it so much, and we will see you on the next one.